my first half of life focus on STEM, like physical, chemistry, do research in the lab. I do postdoc at National Renewable Energy Laboratory. It's a national lab. And then after I finished postdoc, I became a scientist, research scientist at IBM. So personally, I have over 30 peer-reviewed academic paper published. And also I have 2 US patent and 1 Chinese patent. But like after several years working in the lab, I realized I need to look for my passion because seems it's not my passion yet. So I keep looking, and then I quit job at IBM, became an entrepreneur. I took class from Stanford, and eventually I found my passion. I use design thinking to empower people. People could be any age, but especially next generation, because our kids, because I have 2 kids, my younger one is sophomore in college. So I know we need to prepare them with the AI, not just learning machine, right? Just learning the knowledge. So that's my mission. So here I want to bring my expertise I learned from like a research lab, one word. But then later I became a design thinker. I became a design your life coach, focus on humanity. So I want to combine my expertise, both field and also like entrepreneurship from Silicon Valley together and bring like innovation kind of incubator type of program to our young generation. Why? Why we want to do that? Because sometimes as a parent, me as a parent, we know if we force student do something, they won't do it until they know why, until they know, oh, I want to do it, right? So here I use this why, how, what structure to explain a little bit more. So there's a gap when we prepare for the college because students they focus on grades and test scores, but sometimes they don't know what I can do to impact the world. What's my meaning? Because trust me, I have 2 kids. When they went through the application, they struggle to put into the essay. It's a good struggle. I will put it this way. It worth it. But they try very, very hard to find the meaning, right? I know for like a 17, 18-old kids, it's not easy. Uh, but for college, what they looking for? Probably you already learned a lot what they're looking for. They look for authentic impact, creativity, problem solving, collaboration, teamwork. They look for those soft skills, right? So then the student, they need to experience real, like solve real world problem. So in this way, they can show real leadership, empathy, or innovation, or show their creativity, not just participate, right? So that's the gap. And how we bridge the gap. Next slide. How? So here, design thinking is a good approach. So that's why I asked you guys where you're located. But don't worry, even though you're not located like Silicon Valley, probably, or people even here probably they don't know design thinking that much. But design thinking is becoming a buzzword because of Stanford. We know Stanford at Silicon Valley. It's the center of innovation. And design thinking is a way to teach people how to use innovation and creativity to be an entrepreneur or be an innovator. So basically, teach people to use their creativity to solve the world problem. So design thinking is a process. They use in a lot of big company like Google, like my old company IBM, like a lot of startup company like Silicon Valley, and also became very powerful problem solving process. So it's a buzzword. If as a student, they learn how to use design thinking process to solve the problem, to show their creativity. So in this way, actually, they know how to deal with different situations, not just knowledge from book or from class, right? So you can think design thinking is a way use Silicon Valley or use in big company or innovative company to solve very complicated problem. So it's a process we always call empathy, emphasize, define the needs, ideate idea, prototype, and test your idea and iterate. So in this way, we can use a real project like a serve for the community, and the student get chance to do hands-on project to know the real world and also to learn how to solve that problem, use their creativity and not some standard answer, right? So in this way, not only student can learn how to solve the problem, how to use this process, and they start to think, oh, what we can do, what I can do for this community, how I can make some impact, or where's my value. So they bring some self-awareness, and that's the purpose, right? And also they may think, oh, what I learned so much, can I do something meaningful to others? So that's very important to teenager because how do they know their value? So parents, if you have like a teen or like a high schooler at home, probably they're not sure about themselves. Trust me, even though they get like a very high GPA, sometimes they're not sure. But if they can see they can help others generate value, then they start to realize, oh, that make me happy. That make my life meaningful. So then they start to think what I can do for myself and for the world. So design thinking actually is a good approach to do this. And what if we do design thinking project? What's the result? What we can take home, right? So when students work on some hands-on project, they get their personal story because they do empathy. They probably do interview, they understand other people, or sometimes it's under represented group. So they see the different side of the world. And also they have to use creativity and process to solve the problem. So the good thing is next time they will follow that process. So they know uh, how to solve the problem. They know the process, right? They can solve A problem, they can solve B problem. Yeah, I see. I have audience Fremont. Yeah, we're all from California. Thank you for the input. And at the same time, we also, when we generate some new idea, if possible, we can apply for US patent. It's a good practice and good experience too. And, from the college prep or application, this could be a very standout essay to impress the people like from college, right? Because they want to see personal story. They want to see what happened from bottom of your heart. And when students have this experience, they can tell a good story from their bottom of heart. So, what exactly what they really need? I think we have this opportunity. The student can interact with the real world, not just classroom, and they can solve the real problem. And also they can create visible impact. And also they learn how we do like an entrepreneur at Silicon Valley. We keep getting feedback and we can iterate our idea, step by step. And also, in this way, students can feel they achieved something and can maybe give them some hint. Oh, I like this. I want to help people. That's my purpose. So once they know their purpose, I'm pretty sure they can create a lot. Okay, nothing can limit them once they know their purpose. Okay, so in this program, actually, not only we integrate design thinking from Stanford. And also, because for almost 6, 7 years, I work with this NGO group called DMD. It's basically is a muscular uh, dystrophy. It's a kind of rare disease. As shown in this figure at left corner, the kids, normally boys, and they born with some defect from the DNA, and then they couldn't keep their muscle, so that's why they couldn't walk when other toddlers start to walk, and probably fell down. And for this group, around 10, 10-ish, and they lost capability to walk. So eventually they end up sitting on the wheelchair. And also their life maybe average is around 20 to 30. So for this group, there are a lot of things need help. I work with them for many, many years. For example, they couldn't walk, they need physical therapy. And sometimes a lot of them couldn't go to school and they need like a social, emotional support. And their parents need a lot of psychological support and other stuff. So there are a lot of work we can help this group. So we can combine this NGO group and we use design thinking. And we can also borrow the AI tools because right now kids are very happy to play with the AI tool. So we can generate a lot of ideas and integrate the AI tool to develop a solution to help this group. So that's the goal. We want to lead the student understand the pain point, and then we can design like a assistive device or maybe digital tools or maybe community support. So to support this group. As an example, I'm not saying we only support this NGO group, but bring the idea we can use our technology, use our capability, but use our love and energy to help other people who need the help best. Okay, so as I mentioned, so design thinking is a 5-step process. It's very easy to learn. Like you bake a cookie, you follow the step by step. So I'll teach. I love to teach students like to do design thinking. So all my like middle schooler, high schooler, and they are excited about that to do design thinking. And we have interdiscipline team. So it doesn't matter your kids' interest in STEM or in interest in humanity or combine, and they want to hands-on, they want to write something. We can combine the expertise, combine the skills, and then finally we can deliver some results. Like I mentioned, could be a patent, but could be other things if they want to do other thing. Okay. Um, so, uh, and this not only hands-on experience, but generate a lot of social impact because the DMD group, uh, absolutely, they need a lot of support. They need more people to know, and they need, more expertise. Because before like my student learn about DMD. And one day a girl went to the local park and she saw there's a little kid on the wheelchair and she talked to that kid and the parent and she learned that kid actually is a DMD patient. And she said, "Oh, I learned that from class." So then she started to talk with the kid and the parents. And then later she just very excited report to me. So I found one and I talked to him. So you see, even just learn about that and then talk to them, and the student feel she supported other people. So very excited to that. Okay. And yeah, that could make a good story when your kids start to write essay. I know when they write essay, they pull their hair, they say, oh, what I'm going to write. But if they touched by the real case study, and that's totally different story. Okay, so from left, you can see there are so many possibility we can develop. Basically, we can interview, we can do empathy map, we understand the DMD patient or the kids or parents, then we can generate different ideas, okay? So, here are some case. So there one group of my student actually they developed smart arm support because the DMD patient eventually they couldn't move their arm. At the beginning they couldn't walk and then eventually couldn't move their arm. So they have some idea to develop this smart arm support, and they filed the U.S. Patent, and also 3 of the team member admitted to top 30 universities. And another case is a female student interested in psychology. And after, combine the interview information and with prototype testing, and she developed this emotional support app. And she used that as a part of her Common Core application, I see. So right now she is at UC Berkeley. So there are some cases. But I think the most important is I think from that moment they see the DMD patient, and also they see their product can support them, probably their life change, because they know their life could be very meaningful and could be very helpful to other students. They're so excited they can do that. Okay. Besides, to do this design thinking and plus NGO, I can generate pattern, I can generate some mobile app or essay story. In case if your student want to be an entrepreneur, we can teach them how to make a pitch deck and how to write executive summary. And actually, they're from Stanford Design Thinking program, a lot of students generate ideas and then do prototype, and they see, oh, good turnout, and probably eventually they decide to make a startup based on that idea. So that could be something, if your kids really interested in being an entrepreneur, but they all possibilities. I think that's what I'm going to share. I guess a little bit fast, but cover a lot of information. Okay, Christina.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sin. That was so inspiring. And I know we're just going to have fantastic questions. I can already see some of them coming through. Okay. And now just talked about actually creating some new ideas, and let's talk about actually protecting them, your ideas and your work through patent and intellectual property. So I'm excited to turn it over to Eric Eisenberg.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. First of all, I want to say how great it is to hear these stories of young people starting on their invention and patent process from Dr. I. That's really amazing to hear. Hi, I'm Eric Eisenberg. I'm a registered patent attorney. Educationally, I attended Dartmouth for my undergrad. My law school was Columbia. I guess could we go on to the next slide? Just want to give you guys a brief disclaimer. This is intended as educational, not legal advice. If you think you might be seeking to obtain a patent, please do not publicly reveal your invention. You can do it in private circumstances, but this forum is not a place for you to be telling everybody your invention. So just I have to put that disclaimer there. I'm a lawyer. I have to warn people about things. I guess next slide. So this is the big 3 forms of intellectual property. It's good to keep these things in mind. just in terms of understanding what patents are for, what copyrights are for, what trademarks are for, because people often use those terms interchangeably. And as a patent attorney and other IP attorney, I feel like it's important that people have a basic understanding. So trademark protects brand names and logos. It's used for a business identity and making sure that other people don't pretend to be what you are when you're selling a product or service. A copyright is a very simple to obtain form of intellectual property. It protects creative works, and a creative work can be as minimally creative as like a brochure, a paper, even software you've coded. You can protect that with copyright, but the protection is what we call very thin, very limited, for at least when it comes to software. And then our big focus for today is patents. Patents protect inventions. And unlike those other two forms of intellectual property, the only way that you get patent rights is by going through the process of applying and obtaining patent rights. Although even if you just apply and don't obtain, you can still say that you have a patent pending invention, which might have some value to investors, to college admissions officers, what have you. Next slide.
Okay.
So what kind of inventions or ideas might you protect with a U.S. patent? Well, there's a few requirements. Your invention has to be new. Other people haven't already disclosed it to the public. And you yourself haven't disclosed it to the public, at least not more than a year before filing. And if you're trying to get international protection, it's really smart not to disclose it even a day before filing. So really, if you think you want a patent, don't announce your invention to the world, as I mentioned earlier. Talk with an attorney, or if you want to file yourself, you're allowed to file yourself. But it's a tricky process applying for a patent. The second requirement is that it not be obvious. So you're not just combining two things in a way that would be really obvious to people. For example, if you have a pink, you're the first person to have a pink ice cream holder. That's going to be probably obvious, because even though it's the first pink ice cream holder, people already know making things pink makes them pretty, and ice cream holders are known, so it'll be obvious to combine them. That's an example of something which doesn't go far enough in terms of an invention. It has to serve some sort of a useful function, although that's a minimal requirement. Particularly when it comes to software or business methods, you want to make sure that they're not what the patent office calls abstract ideas, and that's a complicated issue, but I'm just putting it out there. When you file the application, you have to explain it well enough so that a normal person in this area, whatever the area of your technology is, can make the invention. So that's the written description requirement. And you also need to have these numbered sentences at the end called claims. And those claims need to be clear as well. And they define what the scope of your invention, the monopoly that you want, because patents are monopolies. They give you the sole right to do this invention in the United States, or people that pay you a licensing fee that you agree to. Next slide, please. These are the basic parts of a patent application. If you're drawing it up, you have to have a specification, which is that written explanation. Usually we have drawings, which are sort of part of the explanation as well. They usually have lots of numbers attached to them, and the specification uses the number, so you can kind of point to every little piece of your invention, explain what it is, how it works, etc. And then these claims, which are the numbered sentences, which use a very particularized form of language. Some of these sentences are a page long sometimes, but it's a particular way that you point out your invention that is different from what everybody else has done. And it's your little addition to technology, if you come up with it. Next slide. And what are some things that you might use a patent or patent application? And on the right, I'm showing you, this is actually what a issued patent looks like. Sometimes if you have a court case over a patent, somebody's stealing your technology, the lawyer will wave this thing in the air and show just how important this patent is, that it got this fancy format of an issuance. But even if you just file a patent application, you can say truthfully that your invention is patent pending, and college admission officer might not even understand the difference between patent pending and patented, and they might say, "Wow, you're really a go-getter, that you have this great technology that you're that you've managed to get patent pending. So that's a step right there. And an issued U.S. patent provides a monopoly right, where you're the only one who could use it, as I explained earlier. An issued U.S. patent can be a valuable business asset. It can be used to help you get funding from investors down the road. You might put it up as collateral for a bank that's considering loaning to your business, and you can even sell it. So these are important business things, and in addition to the fact that it's bragging rights, and what is a college application besides a form of bragging about how great you are and what a great contribution you would make to your university. I guess next slide.
Great. That was a really solid background in intellectual property, like a flash presentation on the subject. Now I would just like to go a little bit deeper into some of the topics that you brought up. We could start. I'd love to learn a little bit about your personal trajectory and your path from computer science and philosophy at Dartmouth to a JD at Columbia, to your decades of experience at an IP firm. Since many students here are interested in potentially becoming a lawyer in majors like computer science and philosophy and the liberal arts, and how that may prepare you for law school. So if you could just share a little bit about your personal trajectory, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, in terms of admissions, most law schools don't have specific requirements for what you have to major in. You don't have to major in pre-law. You can major in any subject. And if you get good grades and if you have good LSAT scores, a law school is going to seriously consider your application. That being said, I think philosophy is a really, really great major in terms of being able to do well on law school coursework, because there's a lot of overlap between how law is taught, at least at the top law schools, and how philosophy is taught in universities. So I definitely think that was great preparation for law school. And if you want to be a patent attorney like myself, it is almost definitely required that you major in some kind of either hard science like biology or chemistry or physics or computer science, as long as you take the right computer science courses. Those are all majors that will allow you to take the special patent test to become a patent attorney on top of just being a regular attorney. So that's how my coursework in undergrad helped prepare me for my career over the last 17 years doing intellectual property services for individuals and for businesses.
Yeah. You said that you can major in anything and be a lawyer. So even if it's like art history and classics or like theater and English, you can still be a lawyer.
Yeah, the only requirement for being a lawyer is that you go through law school, you take the bar, and law schools there's no major. They will say, "Oh no, that's the wrong major for law school." They all say any major is fine with us. Yeah, you have a wide degree of freedom. But if you want to be a patent attorney, then definitely major in a science.
Well,
But that's the distinction between a patent attorney and all the other kinds of attorneys where you don't need that special preparation.
yeah. And what is your advice to teens who want to invent something and make their mark on the world? Do you need a huge R&D budget? Do you need any R&D budget? Do you need like a PhD of some or some special kind of training? Is there a specific age or experience level that is necessary for considering yourself a real inventor?
Well, it's obviously helpful to have somebody like Dr. I walk you through the process of inventing and of honing your invention. But that being said, there's some subject areas where you're not going to probably get a big, fancy, valuable patent if you don't have all kinds of advanced degrees. There we're talking like a new drug that requires a huge R&D budget. But I've worked with, as seen on TV products, for example, very simple devices, but they sold millions and millions and millions. And for those kind of devices, consumer products, you don't necessarily need any special training. You can come up with that just because you're a very creative person who sees a problem finds a unique solution that's new and non-obvious, if you remember those requirements from earlier. So it's really about creativity, it's about drive, it's about desire. It doesn't necessarily require any special training. If it's in the software arts, dabble in programming enough that you can start to try out some of your ideas. All kinds of different ways that you can be an inventor of something that you could apply for a patent or get a patent. You don't have to have any special degrees for most technological fields.
For something like the made as seen on TV products, like I think we're talking things like household products like a special hose or like a mop or like uh um just everyday useful things. You're saying that if you like working with your hands and you like just building and making things physically, that you think it's possible to come up with something that's patent worthy.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work with hoses and mops. So those are big areas that people have made a lot of money at and have sought patent protection for, and in many cases obtained patent protection for. One thing that you brought up is you don't necessarily need to be able to physically build something in order to apply for a patent, although it's helpful. If you can come up with the idea and describe how somebody would do it if they had those building skills, then you can apply for a patent. You don't necessarily need a manufacturing facility to apply for a patent. You need the idea, and it needs to be an idea that would work with just minor experimentation.
So we just covered a huge spectrum of potential idea patented patented ideas. How do you know if these ideas are valuable? Like, how do you even have an instinct to know if this is like something worth pursuing?
Well, I think one way that you can test it out is if you just want to show your friends the idea, preferably under a non-disclosure agreement. Just have them say they won't tell anybody else, and just sign a piece of paper to that effect, basically, or have a lawyer give you an NDA that they can sign, and just ask them if that's something that they're excited about, or maybe it's something that you're really excited about that you would want, and that's why you came up with this. That you found the need. It's not being solved. You think you can solve it in a way that you can make an affordable product that people will want to buy. Um, that instinct alone often will tell you that you have a potentially valuable idea.
Okay. And what do you think is the future of intellectual property in the age of AI?
That's a really interesting question. Of course, everybody's worried about AI taking over jobs in all kinds of different fields, ranging from writing to software development. Some people are worried AI is going to take over for all of us. But there is a little quirk of U.S. law. Um, AI is not allowed to get copyrights. AI is not allowed to get patents. There needs to be a human creator of these artistic works and of these technological ideas. You can't list a patent as an inventor. So AI is not getting any monopolies over technology. Humans need to invent this stuff, is my current reading of the law.